and also just a little brief, intro to our prayer book. So let's see, for example, our prayers, let's look at page 144. We're going to do some introductory prayers before we get here. But this is where the service really starts. And you'll see that on most of the spreads, the page is open, you have the Hebrew and the transliteration, so you can follow along the Hebrew in letters you can read, the translation below, and then on the opposite page is some alternative reading. Sometimes the English on those pages are quite beautiful and poetic, and so if you're ever feeling lost with all of the Hebrew singing and why are we singing this part again? Is this the chorus? Oh no, now we're at a new part and it's hard to follow along. Is this in a language I don't know? That side of the page is often a nice place to just let your eyes fall and be in the spirit of what we are saying. Our service today begins actually not with the book. Thank you. But with one of our song sheets, Olam Chesed Yibaneh. The words come from one of the Psalms. The English, or the Hebrew literally means this world was built or is built on love or kindness. But if we look around, there's a lot of not kindness in this world, and so it is our duty to continue to build this world with love. Olam chesed yibaneh, yararai rai, yararai rai. 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 We will build this world with love. Yararai rai, yararai rai. We will build this world with love. Yararai rai, yararai rai. And if we build this world with love, yararai rai, yararai rai, then God will build this world with love. Yararai rai, yararai rai. Olam chesed yibaneh, 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 yararai rai, yararai rai. And now to light our Shabbat candles, I would like to invite up our board hosts this evening, Ethan and Anthony Solomon, to also recite the blessings, which can be found on page 120. They're very waxy wicks, the Shabbat candles.
Kedeshanu Mitzvotav, Visibanu Lahaglikner Shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who will follow us between mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Amen. Thank you. And now we welcome in the Sabbath bride with Lecha Dodi on pages 138 and 139. It is our custom to sing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9, skipping the others. And when we reach verse 9, I invite you, if you're able, to rise and face the door and imagine Shabbat as a beautiful bride or a queen entering through our doors, coming down the aisle to join us in our sacred time together. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. 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 Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, hishmianu el hamyuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, l'shemo tiferet v'litila. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki mekor habracha, nerosh mikedem nesucha, sof ma'aseh b'machshavat chila. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri, kiva orech kumi ori, uri, shir daberi, kivod Adonai alayich nigla. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, gam besimcha uvetzola, toch emunei am segula, boi chala. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. Please be seated. And now that we have opened our hearts with our opening song, lit our Shabbat candles, and welcomed in the Sabbath bride, we are ready to fully segue into our evening service with the Chatzi Kaddish on page 144. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabba, ve'alma divrach hirtev yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'vyomechon, u'b'chayetecho beit Yisrael, bagala, uvizman karif, ve'imeru amen. Yehesh meraba mevara, ve'alamu al me'amaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar v'yiromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal, shemei tekudesha b'richu, leila min kol berchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma, ve'imeru amen. There are some prayers in our service that require special attention, special focus, or extra direction to God. It is customary for those prayers that we stand, sometimes we face east, sometimes there's some bowing. At our congregation, I like to say, I invite you to prepare yourself for these prayers because not everyone can stand or can stand easily, and for some people it might not be your practice to stand, but rather to take a moment, a deep breath before we turn to such prayers and center yourself and allow yourself to be fully present for these words. So with that, on 146, we turn to the call to worship. Please prepare yourself for the Baruchu. Yai da 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 yai da 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 yai da 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 yai da 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 yai 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 da da da. Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed, HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. You may be seated. We continue together in the English on page 149. This is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my siblings, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. Page 150. Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta, Al ken Adonai Eloheinu b'shachbenu, uvkumenu nasiach bechukecha, v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, uv'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed, ki hem chayenu, ve'orech yameinu, uvahem nege yomam b'layla, Nege yomam b'layla, v'ahavatcha al tasir, mimenu le'olamim, Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. On pages 152 and 153, we find the Shema, followed by the Ve'ahavta. I invite you to prepare yourself for these words of Torah. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha ubechol nafshecha ubechol meotecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinatam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'beitecha uvlechtecha b'derech uvshachlecha uvkunecha uvshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'hitem kedoshim Elohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim v'hiot lachem Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem. Please be seated. On page 157, we read responsively. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. From bondage in Egypt, we were delivered. At Sinai, we bound ourselves to your way. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Mi chamocha bailim Adonai, mi kamocha neter bakodesh, nora tehilot osefele, nora tehilot osefele, malechutecha ra'u banecha bokei hayam, lifnei Moshe ze'eli. Anu me'ameru Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed mi chamocha bailim Adonai mi kamocha neder bakodesh nora tehilot osefele nora tehilot osefele Baruch atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael. Page 160. Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace and raise us up, our guardian, to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel. For your name's sake, be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guard our going and coming to life and to peace evermore. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom, aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. Page 162. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam. V'shamru V'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam. Beini ubein b'nei Yisrael oti leolam, oti leolam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam. Ubayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam. We come now to the central set of blessings in any prayer service. The Amidah begins on page 164 and continues over the next few pages. I invite you to prepare yourself for this set of blessings. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Eternal God, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'koneh Hakol, V'zocher Chastei Avod v'Imahot, U'mevig Ula Livnei V'neihem, L'ma'an Shemo v'Ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Abraham ve'Ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol et harav le'Hoshia, Mashiv HaRuach u'Morid HaGashem, Mechalkel Chaim beChesed, Mechaye HaKol be'Rachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim be'Rofech Holim, U'Matir Asurim, U'Mekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Ba'al Gevurot, U'Mido Melach, Melech Mimit U'Mechayeh, U'Matmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah l'hachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh Shemcha kadosh, U'kadoshim b'chol yom yehalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. You may be seated. We continue together on page 173. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day, and may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mikadesh HaShabbat. Page 177. God of goodness, We give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so rich with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'el lehodot. Page 178. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech Adon lechol hashalom. V'tov beinecha livarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol eit u'chol sha'a b'shlomecha. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Tasim leolam. Baruch atah Adonai hamivarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom. We take a moment now for silent prayer. You might use the words on page 179 or the meditations of your own heart. Lo yisagoy al goy charav, lo yilmedu nilchama. Lo yisagoy al goy charav, lo yilmedu nilchama. Eyo, Lo yisagoy al goy charav, lo yilmedu nilchama. Lo yisagoy al goy charav, lo yilmedu nilchama. Eyo, Lo yisagoy al goy charav, lo yilmedu nilchama. Lo yisagoy al goy charav, lo yilmedu nilchama. Eyo, Lo yisagoy al goy charav, lo yilmedu nilchama. Lo yisagoy al goy charav, lo yilmedu nilchama. We turn our thoughts now to those who are ill, injured, or recovering from surgeries, and in need of our prayers for healing. We have on our Misha Berach list Rosalind Cantu, Nick Joliat, Ira Dornfeld, Erwin Marcus, Stephen Katz, Anita Ash, Steve Booker, Carl Frano, Joanne Heinz, Cole Sirkin, Faye Chernin, Debbie Rubenstein, Dan Crabtree, Allie Hoover, Glenn Hoffman, Linda Hoffman, Richard Blaylock, Felice Boucher, David Frost, Shaylee Hibschman, Shelley Leon, and A Street at Forest Park. If there's anyone else that has a name they'd like to share at this time, please do so. The Misha Berach is on page 371, and we hold in our hearts all those in need of healing of mind, body, and spirit. Misha Berach avotenu mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misha Berach imotenu mekor habracha la'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. It is also our custom at Ner Shalom to say a prayer of peace and say a prayer of safety and healing to all those in our active military duty, first responders, and peacekeepers, those around the world whose jobs are dangerous, so that our lives might not be. We have on that list Oni Hinnanen, Joshua Ehrlichman, Martin Brown, Howard Mergler, Kyle Smet, Andrew Booth, Joseph Cald, Pete Abelson, Jeremy Sharkey, Benjamin Hurd, Alexander Furman, Daniel Gilman, Curtis Miller, Caleb Menzies, Noah Kaplan, Aaron Breeding, Jacob Duvre, Jana Ingraham, Tyler Adcock, Corey Anderson, and Tikva and Tiferet Jackson. And of course, all those in the armed services and on the ships at sea that tune in and watch us from our YouTube channel. May the one who blessed our fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and our mothers, Sarah, Rebecca, Leah, and Rachel, bless those who are serving in our armed services. May God guard them and keep them from harm. If they find themselves in dangerous path, may God bring them back whole of mind and body to all those who love them. May it be your will, Adonai Tzevaot, to lead them to safety and to protect them from each and every enemy and ambush. May God make their journey successful and guard their going out and coming in with mercy and love, and let them be blessed to return home with life and peace now and forever. And let us say, Amen. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. This week's Torah portion is Parashat Chaye Sarah, in which Sarah dies, Abraham purchased his first piece of land in Haaretz, and Isaac gets married off to a woman he's never met. I know I say this a lot, but there is a lot happening in this parsha. There's also a lot happening in the world right now, and I have to admit it was hard to focus and find a single solid message to write about this week. I tried my best. The purchase of the cave of Machpelah is often used rhetorically as the beginning of Jewish ownership in the Holy Land. It's true that God has already told Abraham that to go to this promised land and that it shall be the home for his many descendants. But then there were famines, and Abraham had to move around a lot, and there was doubt as to the possibility of him even having descendants. But it is this purchase, which Abraham insists upon, that solidifies this place as his homeland, and that of all his descendants forever. But like a lot of things in the Torah or the Tanakh, real human history has unfolded independently from the ideals of our ancestors and the God depicted in these ancient texts. Rav Joseph Soloveitchik, a seminal American modern Orthodox rabbi, compares Abraham's language, as he insists upon formal sale of the land with fair market price and a deed to prove it, with the ongoing realities of the diasporic Jewish people for most of our history. In the Parsha, Abraham says, "I am a resident alien among you. Sell me a burial site among you, that I may remove my dead for burial." And the Hittites replied to Abraham, saying, "Hear us, my lord. You are the elect of God among us. Bury your dead in the choicest of our burial places. None of us will withhold his burial place from you for burying your dead." And Ephron the Hittite said, "No, my lord, hear me. I give you the field, and I give you the cave that is in it. I give it to you in the presence of my people. Bury your dead." But Abraham bowed low before the landowning citizens and spoke to Ephron in the hearing of the landowning citizens, saying, "If only you would hear me out, let me pay the price of the land. Accept it from me, that I may bury my dead here." Rav Soloveitchik's commentary on this is that Abraham's definition of his dual status, we believe, describes with profound accuracy the historical position of the Jew who resides in a predominantly non-Jewish society. He was a resident, like other inhabitants of Canaan, sharing with them a concern for the welfare of society, digging wells and contributing to the progress of the country in loyalty to its government and institutions. Here, Abraham was clearly a fellow citizen, a patriot among compatriots, joining others in advancing the common welfare. However, there was another aspect, the spiritual, in which Abraham regarded himself as a stranger. His identification and solidarity with his fellow citizens in the secular realm did not imply his readiness to relinquish any aspects of his religious uniqueness. His was a different faith, and he was governed by perceptions, truths, and observances which set him apart from the larger faith community. In this regard, Abraham and his descendants would always remain strangers. From the beginning of history, Jews have always been a minority, carving out our place in the world on the values of universal human rights. Judaism has always believed that certain rules for honoring our God and the world God created are incumbent upon us, but that the peoples of the world can have their own rules for honoring their God or gods or visions of our shared God and our shared world, and they will all still have a place in the world to come. Judaism has always danced on that mechitza, separating our uniqueness and our commitment to universality. I believe that is our greatest gift to ourselves and to the world. Sometimes, though, that particularity has confused others, and when people in power feel confused about a minority of perceived outsiders, it seems to be the norm to try to force that minority to conform or to leave or to make their differences more obvious so as to let others stay clear of them, or in the worst case scenarios, to die. I cannot say that that's all in the past, but I can say that I don't think living in a constant state of existential alarm has been good for our collective psyches. Let us bury our fears and our trauma and our vengeful bloodlust in a spiritual cave that can never be built over and desecrated. Let us honor the reality behind those feelings, how they have sometimes kept us safe, and put away how they have harmed us. And then, let us build with love a world where our people are safe and behave as a light unto the nations. a reality in which Jews and non-Jews live peacefully and cooperatively side by side with no religious governmental bodies exerting themselves over others. Right now, I see our people spilling innocent blood in our Holy Land, and I see our people's innocent blood being spilled all over the world. Mosques and synagogues set ablaze, vandalized, stormed by hate-filled fearmongers. But we all trace ourselves back to that same father, Avraham Avinu, and we must remember to emulate the care he took to respect his dead beloved. And we must also learn from the Hittites to care for the dead of the other, to comfort the bereaved, whoever they are. It is a heartbreaking and nervous-making time for our community, but we must not lose sight of who we are and who we have always been. May we soon see peace in this land, in the Holy Land, and in all lands. Amen and Shabbat Shalom. We turn toward our concluding prayers. I'd like to invite up our board hosts once again, Ethan and Anthony, to open the Ark for the Aleinu, which can be found on page 586, and invite the rest of you to prepare yourselves for the Ark to be opened. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, lated gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu k'goyei haratzot, velo samanu k'mishpechot ha'adama, shelo sam chalkenu kahem, v'goralenu k'chol hamonam, va'anachnu korim, ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. You may be seated. We turn our thoughts now to those who are no longer with us in body, but remain with us in spirit. This week marks a yahrzeit and the anniversary of death for Lawrence Goldberg, Lily Lefkowitz, Margaret Reeser, and Marion Waldman. And we are still within the year of mourning for Sam Mergler, Tom Lonergan, Harvey Lehman, Anna Schatz, Liz Petrie, Rhoda Wessler, Ann Cohen, Shirley Shipp, Rich Travers, George Shuloff, Sylvia Datner, and Leon Skolnick. If anyone else has a name they'd like to share at this time, please do so. The Mourner's Kaddish is on page 598. Mourners and those who wish to join them may rise. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, v'agala u'v'zman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'almei almayah. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal shemei d'kudashah b'richu le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata ta'amiran be'alma v'imru Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim alenu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom alenu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. You may be seated. Oh, say shalom bimrama, huya ase shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, imru, amen. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. 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 Ve'imru, amen. A couple of announcements before we conclude. Tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. there is a walking meditation here on the grounds led by Era. Sunday there is religious school at 9:30 as usual, and this week is a parent breakfast. So please, parents, plan to stay, and when you drop your kids off, get some breakfast, and then when they go to class, we will have some parent-only time, first with Anthony and then with myself. Next week is a very exciting weekend, Sunday mostly. So Friday, regular Shabbat services, 7:30, beautiful. Sunday, we have religious school. We have our scribe coming to evaluate our Torahs and take them back to New York with him to do the repairs. So while he is here, he is going to give us a free presentation at noon on Sunday, next Sunday, the 19th, showing us how Torahs are written and repaired. He's going to give some hands-on opportunities to do some of the stuff to the Torahs, to the heavy Torah. Only he's allowed to touch the Holocaust scroll. That's like the rules of the trust. But the other one, he's going to let people touch and do things with, which is very exciting. And then at 4 o'clock that same afternoon, next Sunday, November 19th, we are hosting a Trans Day of Remembrance service here at Ner Shalom, partnering with Equality Prince William and, is that it? Was there another? And the other clergy. Yes, we have pastors coming from First United Presbyterian Church of Dale City, Grace United Methodist, and I don't remember what church Abby and Michael are from, but 2 other churches in the county. So it's going, and of course myself. So it will be a very beautiful, ecumenical, sad, important service. That's next Sunday at 4. Anything else coming up that's very important? I am running a 5K tomorrow morning. It was the youth group's idea, and then I don't think any of the teenagers signed up, so that's great. But that's okay. I do like to run 5Ks, but yeah, I am running the Feed a Veteran 5K here in Woodbridge tomorrow morning. So if you want to get up at 8 a.m. and cheer me on, that's lovely. but don't feel required to, since I don't think there will be anybody else there from our synagogue. And also, one last thing, our tzedakah this month, we did raise over $100 for Jacada last month. Thank you for everyone who put some dollars or change in the tzedakah box. This month we are gearing up already for Giving Tuesday, the Tuesday after Thanksgiving. And this year all of our Giving Tuesday funds will go toward various accessibility projects here at the synagogue. First and foremost, finishing the boardwalk and the pathway so that people with mobility concerns can get up to the hill for when we do our outdoor services by the Pet Memorial Garden. But there are other things on the horizon that we want to do accessibility-wise. So this month, that's where all the tzedakah is going and where all of the Giving Tuesday funds will be going. So it's important work. Okay. Our closing song tonight is the other song sheet. Another song for peace. May it be so. Od yavo shalom aleinu. Od yavo shalom aleinu. Od yavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Od yavo shalom aleinu. Od yavo shalom aleinu. Od yavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam, salam aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam. Od yavo shalom aleinu. Od yavo shalom aleinu. Od yavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Od yavo shalom aleinu. Od yavo shalom aleinu. Od yavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam, salam aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam. Salam, shalom, peace everyone. Please join us for Oneg and Kiddush in the hall.